down and come back up.
Oh,
And I know he can't do that, or that wipes out the whole interview.
right.
So, anyway, welcome. Thank you for being patient and waiting for me.
Of course.
Um, we wanted to, of course, go over a few things here, your application, go over what the job is about and that type thing. But first of all, I just thought maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself, even though I did get your resume, and I was hoping that Mike could listen to this, but go ahead. He'll listen to the recording.
Sure. So I am a career EA. I am from Denver, Colorado. I have been working for C-level executives for 17 years, and I've been an administrative assistant for 20 years now. What I am really trying to focus on in my career at this point is taking my skills and expertise as an executive assistant and working for myself virtually, basically working virtual for a small handful of clients, and being able to have a little bit more flexibility in where I work, and being able to still utilize my skills as an executive assistant and continue to grow and learn new things.
Great. So did I read, though, that you had moved from Denver, or you're in Denver now?
I'm in Denver now. So I moved from Los Angeles back to Denver.
Oh, to Denver. Okay. All right. Thank you for clarifying that. I really appreciate it. So what do you think really attracted you to this position? You're saying you're thinking about working with a few clients, that type thing?
Right.
And actually, I have a little bit extra onto that. How did you hear about it?
So I actually met with Leanne Nielsen. I met her and we were chatting, and I was telling her kind of my plans since arriving back in Denver. And she works with you, and she just thought it would be a great opportunity. She thought I seemed like a good fit, and so she wanted to connect me with this opportunity. And I think what attracted me to it is, well, first of all, I come from a family of farmers. So my mom's side of the family are all farmers in Central California. And so agriculture is kind of near and dear to my heart. And on kind of a silly, I guess, or superficial level, I am a huge fan of lavender. So that's a big draw for me. I love lavender. I've been to so many lavender farms and lavender festivals, and I have my aunt and uncle have a place up in Sequim, Washington, where there is just tons and tons of lavender being grown, and I have had lavender tea and lavender ice cream and everything you can imagine. So I think it's just a personal interest, and then it actually is very much in line with what I'm trying to do at this point in my career. Like I said, gathering a small group of clients that I can work with on an ongoing basis, and being able to give them assistance virtually and build my career that way instead of continuing on, office after office. I just thought it would be a good time to kind of break from that.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you. That's wonderful. And what isn't there to like about lavender,
I love lavender. I've always loved lavender. And to be able to represent the Lavender Growers Association to me would be really quite an honor, actually. I think it would be really exciting.
How nice. How nice. Okay. You have read over the job descriptions, probably, hopefully, and I'm just wondering if you you believe you understand all the aspects of the job?
I do. I mean, I'm glancing at it down at my phone, so I'm not trying to break eye contact. But
oh, no worries. I've already broken it. So.
But I feel like everything is very much in line. Writing is a huge passion of mine, and I've done a lot of it professionally and personally. I have my own website and my own blog, both, and so I do a lot of writing and editing for myself as well as for other people. One of my virtual clients actually is an attorney, and I do editing of her of case notes So I do that right now. And I've also done a lot of writing for bosses, whether it's for internal communications or speeches or presentations, sales meetings, that kind of thing, board retreats. I'm just kind of glancing through. So writing is a big one for me. I'm very familiar with websites and blogs and content and editing and proofreading, that kind of thing. The training, and that's good. I see that you have with the board members and committee chairs. I have a lot of experience working with board members. I'm not easily intimidated. I think I can represent very well in a professional yet friendly and approachable manner, which I think people tend to appreciate. And very good at communicating and realizing that some of these people are higher need, some of them are kind of higher demand, and so just knowing that I can assimilate to all these different personalities. I have a psychology background, which I think has helped me a lot in my career of working with all different types of people and personalities and quirks and that kind of thing. Let me just see here. All the social media, I'm very familiar and comfortable with social media. I actually do some work for a woman right now, just finished a press release for her and helped her with her website. And I do daily updates and postings on her social media, so I'm very familiar with that. The newsletters, again, I'm such a fan of writing that, anything I can do as part of that would be a thrill for me. So the newsletter, I've done a lot of newsletters and internal communications. I've been an office manager before as part of my EA duties. So keeping people up to date on the goings on, current events, calendar, what's coming up, that kind of thing. Just looking at board meetings, again, I have extensive experience with the board meetings with very, very high maintenance people. So I'm perfectly okay with all that and communicating with them either personally or through their executive assistants, and to any level of detail that you need. If you need me to, be booking their travel to the meeting, or if it's going to be virtual, I've booked, the venues and the conference rooms and the catering, as well as what they're going to be doing for dinner and evening activities, weekend activities. So I've done all of that quite a bit. Just looking to see here. The membership list, I've done a lot of work. I'm very, very comfortable in Excel and data entry as well as data management. And oh, hello. I see him on the screen now.
Oh, okay.
It's like
I can hear you now.
Oh, really?
I just called in.
Oh, I was wondering. Okay, well, hello.
Hi.
Let's see. As far as the email and voicemail to the website, I've managed many inboxes and calendars for many years, and I think I'm very good at kind of disseminating between what is something that is just kind of spam or just a general FYI, and then delegating things that might need to be taken care of, and really tending to those things with an urgent, with a sense of urgency. I am a big person on follow-up, and I think that's because I hate being left in the dust. So I'm very good at following up, and I think I would be, oh, weird.
Oh, we lost him.
That's what I thought. I was like, I think he's just gone.
Yeah, he is. Well, he's gone, but I'm glad the meeting's still going on because
I'm back.
Oh, there he is. Okay. Sally, let me ask you this. I was writing a few things down here. You said you're very familiar with websites. Do you do anything, or have you ever done anything with the back end, HTML, in other words?
Oh, and I'm going to be honest, I haven't, but I feel like I would love to learn, and I hope that's not a deal breaker. I think that it's something that can be easily learned. I've just never had the need or the request to do that end of it. But as far as website management, content management, adding pictures, links, that kind of thing, I've done a lot of that.
Okay. Do you personally have a Facebook page?
I have an everything page. I have a Facebook, I have a weekly page. I have a WordPress page. I have Tumblr. I have Twitter. I have Instagram. I've got Snapchat. So I think I've pretty much hit them all.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. You had talked a little bit about your dealings, with maybe higher management, let's call it. How would, and that you don't seem to have, a problem with that. How would you handle an overbearing person?
Well,
I mean, Mike is really bad.
Well, not for much longer, though, dear.
That's true. That's true.
I think for me, it's really about learning the different personalities and how best to assimilate to how they operate, how they communicate. There's some people that are phone people. There's some people that are email or text people. And I think it's realizing that it can't be a one size fits all. So I'm really very skilled at getting to know each person individually and how to deal best with them and how to best partner with them in order to be successful. So I think that's kind of something that I am an expert in because I've worked for so many different people and had dealings with so many board members and high profile clients and that kind of thing. So it's really just feeling out each person and figuring out a game plan from my end on how I can best work with them.
Okay, great. Mike, I don't know if you were in on this when she was talking about how she has farmers in her family and how, her
Cool.
love for lavender and that type of thing. But, I'm sorry, that's my phone and I can't get rid of it. You'll probably hear it.
Press the mute button, Jane.
I don't have one on my home phone that I can see.
Oh. Okay.
No, I don't see it. But anyway,
This is a very timely call. Thank you.
sorry about that. Oh, wait, maybe here. No. I need some technical help here.
Well, you're not going to get it from me.
No.
So maybe Sally can help.
Yeah, that's what. Sally, we had put together a list of questions, and I am at the point, Mike, we've kind of gone through question 3. The reason I was mentioning how her love of lavender, her farmers in the family, and she explained it much more eloquently than I. But the next question might go to that a little bit, so I didn't know if you wanted to jump in now.
Yeah, Jane and I kind of cobbled the list of questions we wanted to cover, and it was basically kind of explore you and your knowledge of our organization, and what do you know about the United States Lavender Growers Association?
I mean, really just kind of what I've perused on the website, just that you guys are kind of an overseeing entity of the different people that grow lavender around the United States, kind of a governing board, I guess I would say. Does that sound fair?
We do have a board of directors, and we are not a governing board in that we're a membership organization.
Okay.
And we're membership driven. And our board are all volunteers. We have had no paid employees, and we're coming up on our 6th anniversary, but we've reached a point where we can't grow anymore without that kind of support because frankly, a lot of our committee chairs and some of the committee people are just kind of burned out. They've been doing a lot for a long time. And like myself, I'm stepping down as the president at the end of my term, which is in February. And I've been on the board or in an executive position for almost 7 years. And it's time for me to let some new blood in. But in order to make that next step in the growth, we need to have more support for the committees and for the board, take care of some of the administrative details. And that's where half of this job comes in, is just making sure that things are running smoothly, that we get back to members and make sure that their concerns are addressed. And so that's what we're looking for, is some continuity. Volunteers are great, but it's oftentimes like herding cats.
Yes.
And so I cannot compel anybody to do anything as much as I would like to. Actually, I wouldn't want to. I'm busy running my own life. I don't want to take on anyone else's. The thing is that that continuity to us that have been involved with it since the beginning, is, I won't call it loyalty, but we've invested so much in it. It's really important to us. We invest a lot of time and energy in developing this, because we started from scratch, and we launched in 2012. And it started out with 5 of us, and then we put together an organizing committee of 25 people. And that group finally got us up and running. And so many of those original 25 people are still involved in some capacity or another. A lot of them have been on the board and have stepped down way sooner than I figured out how to do that. But yeah, we need to bring in more people and involve more members in this process. And basically, it's a matter of trying to show them just how much we get out of being involved. And that's not easy to communicate. And, you know, they say you get what you out of something, what you put into it. And I know Jane and I have been rewarded in so many different ways, just not monetarily.
Right.
Thankfully, our membership doesn't get what they pay for. They get a lot more. So I'm not actually answering the question. So just jump in here anywhere you want if you've got questions about our organization.
Okay. Can you tell me how many current members you have?
I think I saw on the member directory this morning, it was like 336. I think we have like 370 members. There are a number of people that are not online. They may have email. They don't currently access our website or use those services for whatever reasons. But we are a virtual organization. Jane's in Michigan. I'm in Kansas. And we've got 11 board positions. We only have 10 on the board right now. We had one step down. We did not replace her because it was too close to our election cycle, which is Jane and I are on the nominating committee along with a couple of other people. And we're just starting the process of trying to get applicants to run for the board.
Right.
And the executive committee, which is made up of the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer, all have to be board members in order to run for the executive committee. And they are elected by the board members, whereas the board members are actually elected by the members. And so we do a member-wide election for the board members, and that's what will be coming up here in the next couple of months.
I see.
You can jump in anytime you want, Jane.
Well, I just thought I'd mention that we also have not just farmers in our organization, but we have Friends of Lavender. So we have various categories. I think obviously our biggest category is the farmers category, but we have I think we took away the associates, was it, Mike? And
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
the associates were folded into the grower category.
Yeah. Right.
And we do have affiliate members, which are basically other lavender organizations, and not just lavender. We're also we have reciprocal agreements like with Herb Society of America, with the Australian Lavender Association, the Ontario Association. We've reached out, and oftentimes they're reaching out to us, and it's just a matter of us working out a reciprocal agreement on that. And I won't say that there's a whole lot of interaction between us, but it's a way to stay tuned to what each association is doing. And it's just a single membership, so they have to designate someone within their organization that will have access to their website and whatnot, and can access their files and stuff. And we do have an extensive library that has been put together primarily by the Education and Research Committee of all things lavender. And there's a lot of scientific work that's in that file. And we have a couple of grants going on right now. They're doing research in, let's see, with the University, Michigan State, Kansas State, Clemson, who else, Jane? University of Idaho State, Washington State.
Yeah.
And who else? Rutgers has been involved, but I don't think they're involved with any grants right now.
No, I think that's
So
fine.
we do have a lot of the plant scientists involved that we could, and they've been very beneficial. We had a disease that hit our industry a couple of years ago. It was really devastating. We worked very closely, especially with Clemson University, in helping identify it. They did DNA testing so we could track back the source,
Right.
and warn our members not to buy plants from a certain entity that was shipping out infected stock.
Right.
So that's the kind of things that we hope to accomplish, is following through on our vision and mission statement, and that is on our website. And we bounce everything we do off of those two caveats. Make sure that we're taking care of our members and we're living what we say we wanted to do. So that being said, does that help you understand USLGA better?
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like there's different associations I think that my uncles and cousins belong to that are kind of similar thing. You know, they grow tomatoes, they grow almonds, pistachios, and all this. And so, I mean, it's really just looking out for each other and kind of coming together as one, just kind of uniting for the cause and trying to work together, you know, to be successful in growing this crop. So, yeah.
Okay. What are your expectations for this position?
I think it would be nice to be it'd be nice to be an integral part of this organization, knowing that I can add value to this organization, that I can represent the organization well, whether it's to the public or to the members. I think that, again, as I'd mentioned earlier, I have a lot of passion for lavender, so I would be really proud to represent something that I care a lot about. And I think that I can bring a lot to the table with my experience and skills, knowing that I can handle this and manage it. I'm proactive, I'm professional, I'm approachable. I think that I've done all of these things in one capacity or another in my work experience. And just really kind of owning it, knowing that I can just kind of take it and run with it and be able to, I don't know, successfully manage all these tasks and projects and own these things well. Yeah.
Right.
Now, I couldn't hear the early part of the discussion with Jane. Did you go over the job description at all?
Well, she has read it over. We did not go over it in detail at all.
Okay.
I did ask her if she had questions regarding it. I'm not so sure she did.
Yeah, I think we just kind of went through it. You know, I just was kind of looking at it, just kind of making comments on things that I have done that are transferable skills and things that I've done. Like I've got extensive experience with board of directors and retreats and meetings and communications and writing and newsletters and websites. So just kind of going through it. And I feel like a lot of everything that I see on here is definitely within my scope and in my experience and skill base.
You know, Mike and I had talked earlier, and we wanted the applicants to understand that this is a part-time position. And Mike, I don't know if you heard that she is looking for a virtual type position where she can work for several different entities. So I didn't want anyone to assume or think this is full-time, and she understood.
Well, yeah. It's not that we're cheap, but our members are what's paying for this. So we have to make sure that we're giving them value for that. And we anticipate it's going to be about 8 to 10 hours a week right now. It will probably grow over time. To how much, I don't know, whether it become a full-time position or not. I could see that down the road, but bear in mind when we first started, we weren't sure we would get 50 members, much less 100.
Right.
And we're at what, 370 now. So we never foresaw it growing this big. And so at the growth rate that we've been going each year, and it's usually kicked up every other year when we have our national conference. That's when we pick up a lot of new members. I think we picked up 70 some this last when we had our conference in January in Mesa, Arizona. And our conferences are biennial. We have them once every 2 years because it just takes too long for our volunteers to put together something. We just couldn't do it every year. And the event committee has their own budget and whatnot, and they're working on it. And they've already hired an event coordinator for that. And they haven't reported back to the board of where they are in their process. We have our board meeting tomorrow night. And so I expect a report from them on that. I forgot where you were going with that, Jane. Oh, on the hours.
Well, yeah, I was kind of addressing our question number 7, Mike. Just having her understand that it is a part-time position. And
yeah.
When I saw your application, and knowing you moved, I didn't know if you would be looking for a full-time position, what the status was. So you've clarified that for us. I appreciate that.
Okay. I imagine initially starting off, it would be probably some more hours until you get up to speed. Mm-hmm. There will be some training and just education in our internal processes. Then after that, I would expect it to level out until we can reach a point where we can hand off more to that position and free up some of our volunteer time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's great. And as I had mentioned earlier, I'm not sure if you were able to hear, but I'm really trying to I'm at a point in my career, 20 years in, and I would really like to take this opportunity to kind of redesign my career and do more of a virtual assistant type path. So this is perfectly in line with what I would like to do. And if I had you as a client, more or less, then I would be able to, whatever you need, I would be here because I would just have a few other clients that I would be working with as well. And if you're needing to go, then I'm available. So it works. It's exactly what I'm looking for.
Okay. Well, bear in mind that conference that's once every 2 years, we would expect that position to be there the whole time. And it's about a 3-day event. You wouldn't have to pay your way though. We would pick that up as part of your employee benefits. And the rest of us have to pay. But yeah, you'd be the only employee we've got, so we have to take care of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
So here's what I see happening here. Since Jane and I are not literate on the website stuff, we just don't know what questions to ask. We're going to be handing this off to 2 women who have been managing all of our website or web content stuff. And that's Sarah Richards, she owns the Lavender Wind Farm in Whidbey, Island, Washington State.
Oh, yeah.
And Mary Bergstrom, who has, what's the name of her farm?
Southern something.
Southern Hills Lavender. She's down in Greer, South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
So we're spread all over the place.
Yeah,
but they will be getting in touch with you. We'll give them the results of this and give them access to the video if they want to watch it beforehand, so they know what we've already covered, and that way they won't be ending up asking the same questions, but try and focus on the website aspects of it. Do you have questions for us?
So when would you ideally like to have someone start in this position?
As soon as we can actually put it in place. And what I mean by that is based on whoever we hire, then we have to set it up for that state to be able to pay the state payroll taxes and whatnot. And we have bookkeeping services that are contracted out. and our treasurer has to work with them to set that up to make sure we can make payroll payments. And so that's the only thing that would really slow things up, is just to get that in place. And I don't anticipate that would take very long.
Mm-hmm.
So is that an issue for you?
No, as I have gotten back and I've kind of marketed myself and just making other connections and stuff, and kind of prioritizing the different people that I talk to, and just trying to understand where people's timelines are. I don't want to overcommit myself, and I also want to focus on people and companies and entities that I am most interested in. So I just like to kind of get an idea of people's timelines, and again, because I would want to commit to who I want to commit to. And this is something that I'm very excited about. So I would, just want to know, kind of, I have an idea so that I can kind of gauge myself as I'm talking to other people, I guess. So that's
okay.
all. Yeah.
Well, this position would allow you a lot of flexibility time-wise on when you dealt with things. Make just returning messages and whatnot, that can be done anytime during the day or night. A lot of us do a lot of things in the evening after we get done working on the farm, but that's just the nature of our beasts. And so it's a matter of when it's convenient for us, and it would also be true for you if that were the case, so that you would have the flexibility to work around that.
Right. I mean,
Now,
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, as Leanne Nielsen had mentioned to me when I met her and we talked about this position, I just was so excited because I thought this is just encompasses. It's one thing to do work that you're good at, but it's another thing to do work that you're good at that you actually enjoy. And so it's just kind of checks all the boxes of things that would interest me, as well as utilize my skills and experience. So it just sounds great. I mean, the flexibility and the fact that it would be lavender, and the fact that I'm kind of staying in the agriculture world. I have never been a farmer myself, but it's been my mom's family for many generations. So that means a lot to me as well. So it sounds incredible.
Well, I will tell you that no one explained to the city kid that farming was hard work.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was getting into. Are you living in Denver?
I am in Denver. Uh-huh.
Okay. We've got a lot of lavender farms that are real close to you.
Yeah.
Cindy Jones, who's a former board member and a founding member, she's up at not Thornton, Longmont.
Right. Uh-huh.
And how did you find out? Was it through Leanne that you found out about this position?
Yes.
Okay. How do you know her?
So I actually work part-time at a winery, and I just was chatting with her. I think it was her and her sister, and just talking about Palisade. I went over there and all the lavender, and we were just talking about all the different wineries and everything, and my recent trip there. And she was just like, "Oh my gosh, you know what? I think there's this opening, and I think you would be a perfect fit." She's like, "You have the personality, and you've got the interest and that kind of thing." And so she's the one that connected me to it. So I was really thankful for her.
Okay, you mind if we pick on her?
Of course not.
Okay. Jane, do you have anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
I think we kept
Well,
her.
Sally, thank you. Yes, Sally, I really appreciate you giving the time, and especially with the technical glitch on my end. I'm sorry, Jane, you had to reboot your computer, but I'll have to figure out what my speakers are doing before tomorrow's board meeting. So if you have any further questions, you can contact Jane or myself through email, or you can call us. If you want the numbers, we can give those to you. And we will follow up. After we hear from the second interviews, we will let you know one way or the other. So by the end of next week, you should have an answer one way or another. Is that fair?
Oh, absolutely. And Jane, I know I have your email. I don't know if I have your email. Jane, could you possibly shoot me over his email address just so I can send you guys a follow-up email?
Sure. Mine is president@uslavender.org.
I'm just going to type this on my phone really quick here.
That's okay. If you're doing that one-handed, I'm going to be sick.
I am.
I can't do it too.
So it's President at Lavender.
Yeah, and that's spelled DER.
No, but it's
A lot
U.S.
of people,
Lavender.
Oh,
yeah,
US.
uslavender.org.
Okay,
Okay.
got it. All right. I just like to have a way to get a hold of everybody. Well, I really appreciate you guys talking to me. I'm so thrilled that I really am flattered and honored that I even get to talk to you. And I would be more than happy if this worked out. I think it would be a great situation. And I think I would do a really good job for you guys, make you proud and represent you all very well.
Well, Sally, I will tell you, you do interview well.
Thank you. Thank
Yes. And you picked a very plain background, I noticed.
you.
Yeah, I need a green screen. My office is really ugly.
I was gonna say, I'm going to clean up my place.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
All right.
Both very much. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Okay. Thanks,
All
Ellie.
right.
Bye.
Bye.